After the Norman invasion, Ireland began to change in ways that reached far beyond castles and conquest. For the first time in history, true medieval towns began to spread across the island, places built on trade, markets, and structured urban life. Before this era, most people lived in rural settlements. Power was tied to land, cattle, and kinship. But the Normans introduced a new model of society, towns with streets, markets, guilds, and civic government. These towns grew beside rivers, harbors, and castle walls. Places such as Dublin, Waterford, Kilkenny, Limerick, Galway, and Wexford developed into busy centers of commerce. Stone walls enclosed narrow streets, wooden houses, workshops, and marketplaces where traders and travelers gathered from across Ireland, Britain, and Europe. At the heart of every town was the market square. Here, merchants sold grain, fish, leather, wine, cloth, and imported goods carried by ships from England, France, Spain, and the Baltic world. Weekly markets and annual fairs shaped the rhythm of life, linking urban communities to surrounding countryside and farming families who supplied food and raw materials. Craftsmen organized themselves into guilds. Blacksmiths, carpenters, bakers, tanners, and weavers trained apprentices in protected trade standards. Skill, not birth, determined status within a craft. Work was structured, disciplined, and essential to town survival. Towns also introduced new systems of law and citizenship. Residents could become freemen. People granted legal rights in exchange for taxes, loyalty, and civic duty. Councils and mayors managed streets, trade rules, and defense. This was a world of written charters, record-keeping, and administration, very different from the older Gaelic system based on kinship and oral law. Yet towns were also places of contrast. Inside the walls lived merchants, officials, and craftsmen. Outside, Irish rural communities continued older traditions of farming and clan society. Over time, cultures mixed. Some Norman families adopted Irish customs and language, while many Irish people adapted to urban life, trade, and new economic opportunities. Life in medieval towns was demanding. Homes were small, streets crowded, sanitation limited, and disease a constant threat. But towns also offered education, opportunity, and connection to the wider world. Monasteries, churches, and schools shaped learning and belief, while docks and marketplaces tied Ireland to international trade networks. These towns changed Ireland forever. They shifted the economy from cattle and tribute toward commerce, currency, and craft production. They introduced civic identity alongside family identity. And they laid the foundations for the urban centers that would grow in later centuries. The rise of medieval Irish towns was not just a story of buildings and markets. It was the beginning of a new way of living, one that blended Irish tradition with European influence, reshaping society, power, and daily life across the island.